Welcome to Skopje, Macedonia. This city was defined by the 1963 earthquake that destroyed some 80% of its buildings. Buildings that were subsequently reconstructed under the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia in socialist modernist style. We like that, but not everyone liked it. The Skopje 2014 project, which some call a massive money laundering operation, up to some $700 million was spent, installing faux facades around these existing modernist structures in classical style. And also the Skopje 2014 project gave us maybe hundreds of statues erected throughout the city, earning Skopje its new name, the capital of kitsch. We're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on the Yugoslav-era monuments and buildings. This is a Spomenik run after all, and you know what a Spomenik is, and if you don't, there's a link in the description to my highly acclaimed series, Yugoslav Spomeniks. Enjoy. Let's start here. The old train station in Skopje was home to Yugoslavia's largest mural commemorating the partisan fighters of Skopje. It was destroyed in the 1963 earthquake. The mural inside this building took 5 years to build. It was 225 square meters. And the building itself had been completed in 1940. So now it functions as a museum. There's a plaque out front, a Tito quote. It says, Skopje has experienced or has been destroyed in a never before seen disaster, but we will build it again with the help of the community as a symbol to the world, or as a symbol of Yugoslav work and brotherly love, something like that. 1963. So the entrance of this museum is all about the earthquake, the 1963 earthquake. The X'd out buildings were destroyed. And I presume this is an illustration of certain panels of Yugoslavia's largest mural. I ordered the Alexander Macedonian, something to do with pork, wrapped in pork, if I understood correctly. Okay, let's try to bang out a few Spomeniks before the sun goes down, which is in about a half an hour. This one doesn't count, that one doesn't count, that one doesn't count. This is all the new project. The name of this park is Woman Warrior Park, and there are 2 Yugoslav-era Spomeniks in this park. They just don't stand out because there's so many other new statues installed here, part of the Skopje 2014 project. Found one. Monument to Women Fighters, unveiled March 8th, 1970. March 8th, International Women's Day. This monument celebrates the contribution of women fighters within the partisan revolutionary movement during World War II, or the People's Liberation Struggle. This was created by Prilep sculptor Boro Mitrikeski. Prilep is the 4th largest city in Macedonia. All right, let's find the second one. And found the second one. It's the Child Refugee Monument, 1988. And this is dedicated to the tens of thousands of child victims who fled north into Yugoslavia during the violence of the Greek Civil War. The Greek Civil War took place right after World War II, a communist uprising assisted by Yugoslavia and the Soviet Union against the established government of the Kingdom of Greece. And the government forces were assisted by United States and United Kingdom. Ultimately, the government forces prevailed. The Triumph Arch of Macedonia. I'm gonna call it a night. I got things to do, believe it or not. Beneath the Arch of Triumph, a plaque, a quote from Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa was born here in Skopje in 1910. It's 2 o'clock, got a late start. Let's try to bang out as many of these Yugoslav monuments as possible. There are a lot of them here. There's reading yesterday. Will 7 days be enough? I don't know. The first monument of the day is the one closest to my house, a statue of Radožda from 1974. This was a guy whose subversive actions against the occupiers were so effective that the Bulgarian police put a bounty on his head. Ultimately, he was gunned down here on the streets of Skopje, February 20th, 1943. We'll visit the assassination site later. He was made a national hero of Yugoslavia in 1953. This monument is placed in front of the Radožda High School. Monument to the United Workers Syndicate Trade Unions, 1974. Yeah, if I knock it off with the lengthy descriptions, I'm going to make good time today. Here's a monument to Duško Popović, 1977. The inscription says, here is where the fighter Duško Popović lived for the first time. He was born in Vranje, 1913, and he was hanged in prison in Tirana, Albania, in 1943. Moving on, can you see that big cross behind me up there on the hill? Hoping to get up there in the next couple days. And here's the monument to Periša Savalić, 1975. The inscription here is in Macedonian, and it says that the pioneer Savalić lived and worked at this spot. This is where his house was. He was born in Titograd, 1921. Titograd was the capital of Montenegro. It's called Podgorica now. And he was hanged to death August 19th, 1942, in a prison in Sofia, Bulgaria. And of course, Bulgaria was on the side of Hitler for the large part of the war. Across the street is where Radožda was assassinated in 1943. Let's see if there's a monument here. There is a monument. It's in this gated parking lot. They put it up in 1963. Trying to find the way in. By the way, I'm sure you noticed, socialist modernist building. Nope. Guard won't let me into the parking lot to check out the Spomeniks. Must be a very important complex. Google Maps labels it as a financial institution and also central registry for Macedonia, whatever that is, and also some central bank, Macedonia. Now let's cross the Vardar River, see what's going on over there. The Vardar flows all the way out to the Aegean, Thessaloniki in Greece. And across the river in Skopje, it becomes more Albanian, they say. Here's another post-1963 earthquake modernist building. They put this one up in 1976. It's the Macedonian Academy of Sciences and Arts. Right in front of the House of Youth, the Youth Cultural Center, is the Memorial to Student Demonstrations, 1975. Oh, this is a nice one. This is going to be today's winner, especially if it starts raining soon. So, can we talk about this one? This is the Bomb Monument, 1981, and this Spomenik is dedicated to the secret partisan munitions factory, a factory that remained undiscovered and in operation throughout the entire war. Now, the factory wasn't here. It was located about 600 meters west, north bank of the river we just crossed. That's where this monument used to stand. That building was destroyed. I think they preserved the basement where the factory was operating. So maybe we will visit that location. Despite my weather app's assurance that today was nothing but sunshine, it is raining, and me without an umbrella. Truck on, further from home, or turn around? Cliffhanger. So this is a 1975 Spomenik. Nope, not this one. This one. Can't say the guy's name, I'll caption it. but he died in 1947. Now there's thunder and lightning. So I've turned around, heading toward home, and I'll stop at any Spomeniks I see along the way. Rain or shine. That's for you. This is the National and University Library of St. Clement of Ohrid. And in front of the library is a Spomenik. This is an unusual Spomenik. It's very unusual for a Yugoslav Spomenik to depict a sacred religious figure, and what's more, in sculptural modernist style. This was put up in 1972. It's a statue of St. Clement of Ohrid. And St. Clement is the patron saint of Macedonia. And here comes another man on a horse, one of the newer statues, and it is dwarfing an authentic Yugoslav Spomenik. Look at that, right next to it here. The inscription says that here is where the first conference of People's Front of Skopje took place, June 26, 1944. They put the Spomenik up in 1977. This restaurant, Old City House, came recommended. Give it a shot. This restaurant is in a house that was built in 1836. Plums wrapped in bacon. And tarator, kind of like a tzatziki. It's raining a bit harder, still heading home. Ooh, look at this. Here's something modernist that hasn't been obliterated by the Skopje 2014 project. The Macedonia Opera and Ballet. Okay, I just read about it. So this was completed in 1981. But this is interesting. In 2019, when the country was made to change its name to North Macedonia to appease the Greeks who had a problem with the name Macedonia, they tore down the word Macedonia from the marquee here and replaced it with national. So now it's National Opera and Ballet. Moving along. About to cross a bridge named the Art Bridge. You see what I was saying yesterday about the hundreds and hundreds of new statues that were built? Taking a shortcut through the 1973 modernist City Trade Center, a shopping mall. Popped out right back where we were last night, Woman Warrior Park. And one last look back at the shopping mall. Someone lost a chess match. The same sculptor from Prilep that did the monument to the women fighters that we saw yesterday, he created this one, 1977, Monument to the Victims of Fascism. And it looks like there used to be an inscription here. We'll never know what it said. Well, I know a little bit of the history of this monument. It was the Bulgarians. So the inscription had something to do with fighting the Bulgarian fascists. And home sweet home. Good enough. So this is what $20 a night can get you in Skopje, by the way. Bedroom, washer, and dryer. Living room, balcony you've seen, and the kitchen. So I'm out of batteries, so I'm gonna plug my phone in and leave you here and go out. That's when all the fun happens. See you tomorrow. Good morning. I'm tired and I have a headache. I was up till 4 last night, but the show must go on. The modernist Macedonian radio and television building, 1983. Skopje has the most amount of brutalist architecture per square kilometer compared to any other city in the world. So, despite the government's attempts to move away from it with the Skopje 2014 project, there is still plenty of brutalism and socialist modernism to enjoy here. This is Saints Cyril and Methodius University, the oldest in Macedonia. It was founded after World War II to replace the Bulgarians' university. Okay, let's take a quick look inside this building. These university buildings were completed in 1974. I know, no Spomeniks yet, but be patient. And let's try this building now. And goodbye to the greatest brutalist university I will ever see. Heading now to the Old Bazaar. That's one of the Balkans' largest and oldest marketplaces. It's been Skopje's center for trade and commerce since as far back, at least, as the 1100s. And the Ottomans have shaped its character. There are some 30 mosques at the Old Bazaar, and caravanserais and Hans. It used to be a place where Macedonians and Turks and Albanians and Roma lived and worked together. But after the 2001 insurgency, they say it's primarily an Albanian hangout now. After the Kosovo War, veterans of the Kosovo War, ethnic Albanians, formed the Albanian Liberation Army, and they attacked Macedonia in 2001 with the goal, some say, of having the Albanian majority areas of Macedonia secede from the nation. The insurgency lasted about 6 months. Macedonia won. I think I see breakfast. Burek. Can you hear that? Morbe Otesi. A lot of Turkish going on in this town. I'm hearing it a lot. I'm hearing Turkish music, see Turkish tea, Turkish coffee, nargile, Turkish nuts, Turkish food. And as much as I enjoy being surrounded by my people, it's time to leave Old Bazaar. Let's go back to brutalism, modernism, and Spomeniks. Hopefully some Spomeniks. The Brutalist Museum of Macedonia, 1976. And across from the museum is this old Ottoman Han. A Han was a hotel, stable, depot, storage area, marketplace. I did some mild hill climbing. Look at this building coming up. This is the Museum of Contemporary Art. After the 1963 earthquake, Macedonia was overwhelmed by donations from artists all around the world. And so Poland donated this museum to Macedonia. It was completed in 1970. Modernist. This museum's got a great view. Okay, gonna head to the fortress down there. The old fortress. Not because we care about old fortresses, but there is a Spomenik inside those walls. I guess that's not the way in. So they're calling this fort Kale after the Turkish word fortress. It was built from the 500s. 500s AD. The earliest version of this fort was built with material from Skopje, a Roman city that was completely destroyed by an earthquake in 518. Now there's no one here. It's just me, the fort, and the Chinese. So from up here in the fortress, we have a nice view of the city. And take a look at that circular building there. Socialist, modernist post office. Constructed from 1972, completed in 1989. So this fortress was completely destroyed in the 1963 earthquake and rebuilt, poorly, most agree. But the Spomenik you're about to see was not destroyed in the earthquake. It stands as it stood since 1954. Ta-da. This is the Strength, Glory, and Victory Monument by prelap sculptor Jordan Grabul. So the woman in traditional dress stands about 5 meters tall, staring into the distance, hopefully, and crouched to her right, a partisan soldier, the Eternal Guard, and crouching on her left is a child tugging at her skirt, symbolizing innocence. Macedonian National Theater. Skopje has a Holocaust museum. The old stone bridge is a symbol of Skopje. It was built from 1451 under Ottoman Sultan Mehmet the Conqueror. Second Spomenik for today is right next to the stone bridge. It's the monument to 9 executed Skopjans, maybe from the 1950s. The inscription up here says that on November 12th and 13th, 1944, the German occupiers shot 9 patriots of Skopje. It was the last revenge. They were innocent and unarmed. This is the Archaeological Museum of Macedonia. Look, this is the entrance to the preserved basement for the partisan illegal munitions factory. But you need to make an appointment. You need to make a call. I don't have a phone. And the door's locked. But there it is. I thought maybe there'd be a Spomenik around here, but nay. So this is the original location of the bomb monument that we saw yesterday. My favorite Spomenik so far. All right, let's cross the stone bridge to the Skopje 2014 project's Pride and Joy, Macedonia Square. You see this giant statue of a man on a horse? That's Alexander the Macedonian. Yeah, Alexander the Great. Just a little something to stick it to the Greeks. Greece was not happy about this. They changed the name officially to something like I don't know, warrior on a horse, but everyone knows it's Alexander the Great. Last time I was here, the fountain was going. It's pretty nice at night, too. Maybe it's too cold for that. Yeah, this is my third time here, but it's been a while. Last time I was here, the country was still officially named Macedonia. This is the Mother Teresa Memorial House. Remember, she was born here in Skopje. And they built this memorial house at the spot where she was baptized. This memorial house cost over 2 million euros to build. I think that's something Mother Teresa would have gotten behind, don't you? Poverty, 2 million euros. What does this sign say? Okay, this building is the Republic of Macedonia Ministry of Defense Army Hall, North Macedonia. Macedonia has a Turkish party. Here comes our third Spomenik for the day, 1977. This one's dedicated to a Czech-born partisan fighter who was ultimately caught and executed near Pristina in Kosovo in 1942. I'm looking for a burger. Sunshine, finally. Today, gonna walk around the western part of the center. See what we can find. A Japanese architect, Kenzo Tenge, submitted the winning 1965 city center master plan. And one of the two central components of this post-earthquake reconstruction was called the city wall. The city wall consisted of about 50 towers and blocks that were given priority because thousands of residents had lost their homes in the 1963 earthquake. This residential complex houses some 8,000 people. And here's a Yugoslav Spomenik, secret meeting house monument, 1977. And the plaque here says that two of the secret meeting attendees were killed by the Bulgarian fascist occupiers. Across the street, another Spomenik, 1975, a monument to Blagoje Despotovski. This Spomenik is placed on the spot where he died. So in October 1941, he was given a mission, along with another partisan, to assassinate a local traitor. So on October 7th, he found the traitor and attempted to gun him down here on the streets in central Skopje. And he failed. As the police were closing in on Despotovski, he detonated a grenade in his hands, killing himself and a few officers. Right here. Look at this. A surprise. A rare, modern statue of Tito. They put this up on the 70th anniversary of the second session of the AVNOJ in Jajce, Bosnia. I've been there, made a video about it. I'll put a link to it in the description section. So this was unveiled on November 29th, 2013. Right behind the Tito statue is the Josip Broz Tito High School. Here's the modernist Roman Catholic Cathedral. It's always exciting when the communists build a church. This is the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and it was built to replace the Catholic Cathedral that was destroyed in the 1963 earthquake. Now, this is not the location of the original cathedral. That cathedral stood where now stands the memorial house to Mother Teresa. Remember I told you they built it where she was baptized? You can start piecing that story together now. And the bell tower, the The tent shape is symbolic of the Old Testament image of the tent where Yahweh lives. The roof is copper, and all of the doors are locked. Moving on. Union of the Blind building. That's what the sign says. This modernist concert hall, completed in 1966, was built with the funds from some 35 countries. That's why it's called Universal Hall. The architectural plans and building contractor were donated by Bulgaria to create an exact replica of the Sofia State Circus. Unfortunately, the Sofia State Circus burned down in 1983, so this here building is the sole surviving example of this work. The fuck? Hold on. Just did a quick news search. This building burned down 10 days ago. April 10th, 9 o'clock in the morning. Mysterious fire. So, the end. That was good. Just like that, the forecast changed to rain. I see a communist fountain. It's the Lotus Fountain from 1970, here in the city park. Ooh, look at this. A communist sign of gratitude to the USA for assistance in the construction of the water pipeline, May 1971. The architect of the building that is hidden behind this facade is recorded saying something like, "If I had a bulldozer, I would demolish this pile of shit." This site was originally part of the Tito High School, which was destroyed in the 1963 earthquake. And in its place, they built the Central Committee headquarters for the League of Communists of Macedonia, 1971 in modernist style. Modernist, you say? Well, Skopje 2014 project for the win. The building is still there, but it's hidden behind this fake facade, this faux facade of neoclassical. It now functions as a government building for the Republic of North Macedonia. Third Spomenik for today. Monument to the liberators of Skopje. Partisan fighters. Armed woman. Child, armed child peeking out from behind the woman's skirt. Grenade thrower. Dead partisan. A real battle. More brutalism up ahead. And we focused on part of this building yesterday when we were up on the fortress. You like that? It's the post office headquarters and TKC, the Telecommunications Center. This was constructed from 1972 to 1989. So, wow, what a great city. Okay, it's starting to rain. Let's see one more modernist site. Here it is, the Macedonian Orthodox Cathedral of St. Clement of Ohrid. Remember, St. Clement, patron saint of Macedonia. They built this from 1972 to 1990. And it's famous for a giant 70 square meter mural of Jesus, where each eye's diameter is 1.5 meters, about 4.5 feet. The fountain out in front here was a gift from the local Islamic community. Okay, heading home for a power nap. It's Saturday. at Woman Warrior Park. It's near my house, that's why I keep going through it. The current flag of Macedonia is a sun, a yellow sun, against a red field. That was invented in 1995. The first post-Yugoslavia flag was from 1992, and it was the Vrbjani sun, which angered Greece so much that Greece placed an economic embargo on Macedonia until they changed their flag, which they did in 95. It's a pretty good rain today. Get in the car and we'll drive around to some of the further Brutalist structures and Spomeniks. Rain or shine, must go on. So much more to see. I'm walking down Moscow Street, trying to get a decent view of this Brutalist building here. I guess this is as good as it's gonna get, sorry. This is the City Archive building, 1968, by Macedonian architect Georgi Konstantinovsky. When the 1963 earthquake hit, he cut short his time at Yale University to come assist rebuild Skopje. He was 34 at the time. Now a 6-minute walk south on Moscow Street will bring us to another work by Georgi Konstantinovsky, a student dormitory. The dormitory consists of 4 towers, Brutalist style, 55 meters high, 18 floors. They accommodate around 1,800 students. Now, these towers are very similar to the Tracy Towers in the Bronx that was created by Paul Rudolph, the American modernist architect, at the same time that Konstantinovsky was building these. Paul Rudolph was Konstantinovsky's teacher at Yale University. Right outside a hospital, a Spomenik titled Man and Humanism from 1971. And here's our second Spomenik for today. Monument to the First Skopje Detachment, 1981. The inscribed plate reads, "Upon the call of the KPJ to raise an uprising against the German and Bulgarian occupiers, the Skopje Partisan Detachment was formed at this spot, August 22nd, 1941. And to shake things up just for a bit, let's head out to a Brutalist building. Oh, there's still snow up on those mountains. I wonder if I'll be driving through any of that. So we're climbing to the top of a hill here to a weather service building. It's a hydrometeorological service building from 1975. I guess this is the best view you're gonna get. These dogs were threatening to kill me right up to the moment I got out of the car. Fast retreat. Now they're curious. Sun's going down in about an hour, so for the last stop, I'm gonna do a Partisan Memorial Graveyard. They seem friendly enough. Let's see. And here's the Partisan red star on the ground here. I wonder if there used to be a flame or anything. This Partisan Memorial Cemetery was completed in 1961 by Jordan Grabul, remember that name? And another architect. And obelisk, 12 meters high about. I came in from behind But leading up to this memorial cemetery are a number of busts of, I presume, local fighters, local heroes who died fighting the fascists in World War II. And a number of grave markers here as well. "1,070 people died in the 1963 earthquake. And there's a Spomenik in this cemetery dedicated to those victims. So let's take a quick look at that, and then it's a wrap for today, as far as Spomenik hunting goes. This Spomenik was unveiled in 1964. These are all grave markers for those who died in the quake. And here's where the eternal flame was meant to burn. Elections are happening in a few days. Election madness going on in the square. I don't know what party is rallying today, but most of the flags are Albanian. After that, United States, and then European Union. Interesting. Beef mussel and sauce. I love the retro orange glow in the streets here in Skopje. The old train station again. The clock shows the time the earthquake hit. 5:15, 5:16. Good morning. Part of Japanese architect Kenzo Tanga's master plan for the rebuilding of Skopje after the earthquake was this massive train station. Let's check it out. The communists were very optimistic in 1981. This train station is designed to handle 18 million annual passengers. There are only 500,000 people in Skopje, and less than 200,000 use the train each year. And as you can see, it's kind of a ghost town up here. Am I the only one who gets excited when he sees a Yugoslav-era modular kiosk? Look at this. You see how they're attached? And there it is, the central train station. Time for breakfast. Yeah, I'm back in the old bazaar. I ordered kaçamak. Well, in Macedonia, they're calling it bakardan. This dish, kaçamak, originated in Yugoslavia. It's like a maize porridge. It was once considered a poor man's dish, but now restaurants serve it.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول حي على الصلاة.
This is the Ottoman era Mustafa Pasha Mosque from 1492. Hello, Ottoman cat. Tantuni, one of my favorite Turkish fast foods. Originated in Mersin. Should I? I just ate, but should I? I should. This Turkish bathhouse, Çifte Hamam, was built mid-1400s by a Bosnian general. I gotta go home and rest. I was at that bar last night, that saloon bar, until 4 in the morning. Definitely didn't sleep enough. And still have a hangover. Another giant fountain courtesy of the Skopje 2014 project. It's Philip II of Macedon, the king of the ancient kingdom of Macedonia, and, most importantly, father of Alexander the Great. And this fountain is of the mother of Alexander of Macedonia, Alexander the Great. Crossing the old stone bridge again. That looks like a fun bus line. Back in Woman Warrior Park, and I think I found another Yugoslav Spomenik. The inscription here says, Nevena Georgievska Dunja was born in August 1925 and died in Skopje, December 1942. Actually, she was only 17 years old. I looked her up. She was the youngest partisan fighter in the Macedonian partisan units. They chopped off her head and paraded it around in the villages and in the city of Veles. The Chetniks did that. Now, at the end here in handwriting, it says something about filthy Bulgaria. So I just noticed that the older license plates here say MK, Macedonia, and the newer license plates say NMK, New Macedonia. The weather gods have not been kind to me on my last full day in Skopje. You're gonna get one more Spomenik. I'm gonna spend the rest of the day at home. Dry, warm, Netflix. Breakfast. Breakfast first. Macedonian cold appetizer, pinzer. It's tomatoes, eggplant, garlic, pepper. And shopska salad is kind of like the Macedonian version of a Greek salad. No offense, no offense. Macedonian cevapi. Nothing beats Bosnian cevapi, still. Here it is, your last Spomenik for Skopje. What a journey it's been. This is the monument to Boris Kidric, and you know about him from my Autumn in Slovenia Spomenik video. I'll put a link to it in the description. He was a Slovene partisan leader, and this monument was unveiled estimated 1960s. So that's it for Skopje. Tomorrow I will begin Yugoslav Spomeniks Part 9b. I'm driving toward Ohrid, famous lake in Macedonia, but stopping for a few days in Mavrovo National Park. See you there.